What's going on, guys? Parker here, and I'm back with another video. And today I got my top 5 NBA Prize Picks player props for the day. And before we get into this video, guys, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel down below, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up and leaving a comment down this video down below as well, because that really helps the channel out a ton and helps push my content out to more and more people each and every single day. So I really would appreciate it. And then also, guys, I haven't uploaded in like 2 days. Reason was just it was the Super Bowl weekend. I posted my plays on Twitter and everything like that. So make sure you're following me on Twitter with the link down below in the description. But I was just obviously doing stuff for the Super Bowl, hanging out with people, enjoying time with people, and everything like that. And then before we get into today's plays, I want to talk a little bit about Sleeper. That is running a free LeBron James square for new users tonight. You can get access to this square and an 100% match on your first deposit up to $500 when you use code FF23. That's code FF23 over on Sleeper. And an 100% match up to $500 is crazy, guys. Almost every other DFS app like PrizePicks, every other app like that has it set at a $100 limit for deposit matches, but no, for Sleeper, you get a $500 deposit match. So, I mean, $500 turns into $1,000 to bet with. That's pretty much just $500 in free money that you can definitely take advantage of and could definitely use to be very profitable and start building your bankroll and start building your sports betting journey every single day. And new people to the sports betting community, that's definitely a good deal for you. But without further ado, and the link to that will be down below in the description, by the way, as well. But without further ado, let's get right into today's plays. So I got 5 plays. I'm really confident in these 5. Last day we had a 4-1 day. Last day I posted was Saturday. We had a 4-1 day in the NBA. But let's get into today's plays. First off, I got Jaylen Brown over 20.5 points versus the Nets. He's over this line in both games versus the Nets this season. He's over this line in 6 straight games this season as well. Jaylen Brown has been absolutely dominant versus the Nets. Sorry, it's over in 6 straight games versus the Nets. I put this season. He has not gone over in 6 straight games. The Nets are nothing special versus small forwards. Decent matchup here for Brown today. And this line is as low as you'll see it. Need to play this value here. You will never see a Jaylen Brown line at 20.5 points. Normally his lines hover around 22 to 24.5 points. But today we got it at 20.5. This is definitely a steal. This is definitely a game where Jaylen Brown should be able to exploit this matchup and have a big night. And overall, I'm really confident that Jaylen Brown will have a big night tonight and perform extremely well. So Jaylen Brown over 20.5 points versus the Nets is going to be my first play of the day. Next up, I got Rudy Gobert over 26.5 points plus rebounds versus the Trailblazers. So Gobert is over this line in 5 straight games, and he's over this line with 41 points plus rebounds in his first matchup versus the Trailblazers this season. So Gobert has absolutely dominated this matchup versus the Trailblazers. He's also over this line in 12 of his last 14 overall versus the Trailblazers. So Gobert has owned the Trailblazers overall, and the Trailblazers allow the 5th most points per game in the NBA to centers this season. They allow the 7th most rebounds per game in the NBA to centers this season. And overall, Gobert has had the ability to exploit this matchup time and time again. And he's been such a good player for such a long time. And he's been continuing to play at a high level here. So nothing makes me not confident about Gobert shattering this line tonight. Really confident in him. So Rudy Gobert over 26.5 points plus rebounds versus the Trailblazers is my second play of the day. Next up, I got Anthony Davis over 24.5 points versus the Pistons. He's had 28 points in just 29 minutes in his first matchup versus the Pistons this season. That matchup also came on the road. The Lakers are home tonight. We know about Anthony Davis. One thing we know about Anthony Davis is he plays much better at home than on the road. He's over this line in 13 of his last 16 versus the Pistons as well, and 30 or more points in 11 of his last 15 games versus the Pistons. Pistons also allow the 7th most points per game in the NBA to centers this season. So overall, Davis has a very favorable matchup versus a team that he has been able to dominate in the past. He also has a matchup versus a team that struggles drastically versus his position. And overall, this is just a game that Davis should be able to exploit. Davis should be able to have a really big night. And I'm really confident that Anthony Davis will have a really big night. So this is definitely one of my favorite plays of the day. Probably maybe my favorite or second favorite play of the day. So overall, really confident in Anthony Davis tonight and really confident he has a big night. So Anthony Davis over 24.5 points is my third play of the day. Next up, I got DeAaron Fox over 23.5 points versus the Kings, versus the Suns. He's over this line in 2 of his last 3 versus the Suns. Over in 2 of his last 3 versus the Suns. All those games were this season as well. So this is versus this current Suns team. Averaging 30 points per game versus the Suns this season as well. He's had 2 really big, huge games and then a 23-point night. So he hooked the one game he didn't go over. Suns allow the second most points per game in the NBA to point guards this season. The Suns are absolutely horrible at defending the point guard position. They really struggle a lot. And overall, I just think this is a game where De'Aaron Fox should be able to have a big night and should be able to exploit this matchup. And overall, this is just a great matchup for De'Aaron Fox. So De'Aaron Fox over 23.5 points versus the Suns is my fourth play of the day. Next up, I got Kevin Durant over 26.5 points versus the Kings. Durant's over this line in both matchups versus the Kings this season. The Kings allowed the 11th most points per game in the NBA to power forwards this season. They have definitely struggled versus the power forward position, and they have definitely struggled versus Durant this season. Because like I said, he's over this line in both matchups versus them. And then this is an ideal matchup for Durant today. He should be able to exploit this matchup. He should be able to have a huge night. I'm a really big fan of Kevin Durant, 30-plus points as well on Fanduel for alternate lines and stuff. But Kevin Durant over 26.5 points versus the Kings is my fifth and final play. So those were my top 5 NBA PrizePicks player props for the day. And yeah, like I said, if you did enjoy this video, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel down below. Give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment on this video down below. Lastly, before I get out of here, though, I did want to mention that the NFL season is over. Obviously, what's that mean moving forward? So we're going to have a 5-day NBA break. During the NBA All-Star break. I believe it's 5 days, maybe 6 days, but I believe it's 5. And during that time, I'll have my All-Star player props videos up, like for dunk contest picks, whatever, stuff like that. But then also, besides that, I'll definitely be doing college basketball videos on the daily during that time, just to make sure I'm still getting content out for you guys and everything like that, because the sports betting grind don't stop, and the content grind does not stop, guys. But yeah, no more football, but I'm excited because we know basketball season. That's my favorite. I love the NBA. And yeah, guys, take advantage of the sleeper LeBron James square today. Getting a 100% match on your first deposit up to $500. And make sure you guys use code FF23 to do that. The link to that will be down below in the description. And yeah, that's really all I got for today. Hopefully, I'm coming at you tomorrow with a 5-0 NBA sweep. I hope you guys had a great Super Bowl. I hope you guys took Chiefs money line like I did. I absolutely nuked it. I threw like $500-something on it, and it cashed. So great day for us during the Super Bowl. But without further ado, guys, I will see you on the next one.